Hare Krishna. So we continue with our seminar about raising children in Krishna consciousness.
Takže budeme pokračovať v našom seminári vzdelávania detí vo vedomí Krišnu.
We discussed how important it is to be a good example for children ourselves.
Takže hovorili sme o tom, aké je dôležité, aby sme boli dobrým príkladom pre naše deti.
Because if we are slack in devotional service, then children won't believe in the process of bhakti.
Pretože ak my nebudeme, ak nám bude niečo chýbať v tom procese danej služby, tak tie deti oni potom nebudú mať tú dôveru v ten proces.
Yes, and as we stress all the time, we are Anandamaya Abhyasat, we are the beings of happiness, we all want to be happy, we are all pleasure-seeking living entities.
Takže my sme, že stále to zdôrazňujeme, že sme živé bytosti, ktoré stále hľadajú ako šťastie.
And if children see that the practices of devotional service are more or less burden for us,
ale keď oni vidia, tí deti, že to praktikovanie danej služby je pre nás takou záťažou,
then they won't take to the process of devotional service.
že oni nebudú chcieť prijať ten proces danej služby.
So it's not just ultimately beneficial for us to be really fixed up in the process of devotional service, especially chanting.
Čiže nie je to len pre nás prospešné, že budeme fixovaní v tom procese danej služby, špeciálne v tom spievaní svätého mena.
But it's ultimately beneficial also for our children.
Ale v konečnom zmysle je to prospešné aj pre naše deti.
And then we discussed different age groups.
A potom sme diskutovali rôzne vekové skupiny.
How to raise children in Krishna consciousness in Kaumara age and then Bhagavata and Kaishora.
Ako vychovávať tie deti v tom veku Kaumara, Bhagavata a Kishara.
And now first we will say a little something about this transition from Kaishora to Nava Yauvana.
A teraz povieme troška niečo o tom prechode z toho veku Kaishara do Yauvana.
Nava Yauvana.
Nava Yauvana.
And then we'll have a Q&A session.
A potom budeme mať časť otázek a odpovedí.
So we discussed that especially when Bhagavata, that means from 5 to 10 age starts, that we should have strict discipline.
Takže sme hovorili o tom, že od toho veku od 5 rokov, keď ten vek Bhagavata začne, tak musí byť striktná disciplína.
Yes, especially for boys, it should be like army training.
A špeciálne pre chlapcov, tak to má byť ako na vojne.
Yes. And then the boys will become good men.
A potom z chlapcov sa stanú dobrí muži.
We have a saying in Slovenian. Kar se Janezek nauči, to Janez zna. Do you understand? Whatever Johnny learns, that John knows.
Že čokoľvek sa Janko naučí, tak Jano vie.
Yes. So, if we have strong discipline, then he'll be also, at least to some degree, disciplined personality.
Takže keď budeme mať vlastne ako tú disciplínu, tak potom z tej osoby vyrastie osoba, ktorá bude disciplinovaná.
So it's interesting, we can observe in modern society, and I can see also a lot of cases among devotees, that they're slack in their upbringing when their children are relatively small.
Že som si všimol, že v dnešnej dobe v spoločnosti a tiež aj medzi ľuďmi, že keď že tam je nedostatok upbringing.
They're slack in their upbringing. They're not serious enough.
Že tam chýba, že nie sú dostatočne vážni v tom počatí vlastne toho dieťaťa.
But when children came to teenage years, they want to restrict them very much.
Že oni sú to tak zanedbávajú ešte, keď sú akože malí, a potom keď už prídu ako do toho veku toho tínedžera, tak už potom ich chcú veľmi ako obmedzovať.
But then is of course too late, and the children rebel.
A samozrejme v tom čase už je veľmi neskoro a tie deti rebelujú.
Yes, and then they say, why is my child like this? Yes, because they want to discipline them when they're 15 years old. It's far too late.
Oni chcú vychovávať, keď už majú 15, a to už je neskoro.
Yes, far too late. So we should have discipline when they can be disciplined.
Čiže oni musia mať tú disciplínu vtedy, keď vedia byť ešte disciplinovaní. Yes,
and then later on in their teenage, as I said in this example that Nitai and Gopal, they went by bikes 100 and plus kilometers away to Bhakti camp.
A potom v tom veku, keď oni budú už ako tí tínedžeri, ako som dal ten príklad ako mojich synov, ktorí už išli na ten výlet na bicykloch ďaleko sami na nejaký tábor.
We should trust them more and more.
Mali by sme im veriť viacej a viacej.
And we should turn from military leader to more and more to a friend.
Takže mali by sme potom sa postupne meniť z toho vojenského vodcu k priateľovi.
Yes, and when they're finishing their primary school and they went to secondary school, then you're just a friend. A friend, of course, like elder brother or some elderly friend who knows much more and who is more experienced, but basically you don't act anymore as a military leader in some sense.
Takže potom v tom veku, keď oni už idú na tú strednú školu, tak oni už sme s nimi ako priatelia. Priatelia v tom zmysle, že sme nejaký starší brat alebo starší, ktorý má väčšie poznanie, hej, ale už nejednáme v tej role ako toho vojenského veliteľa, hej, toho lídra.
Yes. And I must say I have such friendly relationship with my sons.
A ja musím povedať, že mám taký priateľský vzťah s mojimi synmi.
We run together, we go to the mountains together, no problem.
Beháme spolu, ideme spolu na hory.
We preach together.
Kážeme spolu.
Yes. So I think this is really important.
Ja myslím, že to je veľmi dôležité.
Because if we want to discipline children in teenage and not before, then it's just fight and we cannot achieve anything.
Pretože keď chcete naučiť deti už v tom veku tínedžerov, tak je to skôr ako taký boj, už sa to nedá tam to spraviť.
And we have destroyed relationship even.
A môžeme si dokonca zničiť ten vzťah.
So it's also a Slovenian proverb that we should kuj železo, dokler je vroče.
Takže máme kuť železo, pokiaľ je horúce.
You have the same? Yes.
One more, no.
Yes.
Ako sa povie ohýbať?
Ohýbaj ma, mamko, pokiaľ som ja Janko.
Ako sa povie po anglicky? You can ako to je ohýbať na to?
Ohnúť.
Oh yes.
When me Janko, when me mamko, when me mother, when I'm like Janko, small
Oh yes.
boy, and
Yes.
you will be not able to
Big John.
you cannot move me when I will be
Yes. Yes.
You
Yes.
understand?
Yes. I understand. Yeah. Yes. This is similar to that one. That whatever little Johnny learns that Big John knows. Yes. Yes. So we can teach young children something, not when they want to be independent. When they in the age where they want to be independent.
A my môžeme učiť deti, keď sú malé, ale nie už keď sú veľké nezávislé.
And if we establish authority in this age of propaganda, then they will, even though we don't act in this way anymore when they're teenagers, they will still follow us.
A keď my v tom čase ustanovíme tú autoritu v tom veku Pauganda, tak aj potom, keď oni už budú neskôr starší ako v tom teenageru, tak oni ju budú príjmať.
Yes. So this is I want to say, because when they're Nava Yauvana, when they're 15, 16, 17 years old, they should be already grown up people, and they should know what is good for them and what's not. So they should take full responsibility for their life.
Že v tom čase, už keď majú tých 16 alebo tak oni už majú byť vyrastení, už majú všetko vedieť a už majú zobrať zodpovednosť za ten svoj život.
Yes. So we should not tell them you should do this, you should do that. We can, of course, advise, but they should be fully responsible for their life.
Že my už by sme nemali vraviť, že musíš robiť toto alebo tamto, ale samozrejme my môžeme poradiť, ale oni majú brať zodpovednosť za svoj život.
Yes, and they should know. We should tell them this. You are completely responsible for your life. We will not take care for you anymore.
A musíme im to aj povedať, že už si...
No, not that we don't feed them or anything like this, but they should be responsible for their own life.
Áno, takže to musíme povedať, že teraz už ste zodpovední za svoj život a my už sa nebudeme starať do toho, ale to neznamená, že ich nebudeme krmiť alebo nedáme im podporu.
Yes, yeah. Of course, it shouldn't be understood wrongly.
Malo by to byť nepochopené správne.
Yes. And of course, they should already know what are the standards in our home, that there are devotional standards, and the devotional life is something so obvious, like there is food on table every day.
Takže samozrejme oni by mali vedieť, aký je štandard v našom dome.
Devotional life should be so obvious and normal, like food on the
A duchovný
table.
život má byť taký normálny a zrejmý ako to jedlo každý deň.
Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So now we'll have this question and answers session.
Takže teraz budeme mať nejaké otázky a odpovede.
Have you prepared any questions?
Pripravili ste si nejaké otázky?
Yes, please.
In the first session, we have been discussing this when to actually start to rise or teach the children, and you mentioned it is far before even
Conception, yes.
the child.
Čiže v tej prvej sekcii sme si hovorili o tom, že kedy začať vlastne s tou výchovou detí a zmienili ste to, že už vlastne pred počatím, ďaleko predtým.
So, yeah, and you also mentioned that the mother should be merged in holy name and chant very attentively.
Že matka tiež, že má byť ponorená vlastne v tom spievaní svätého mena.
And also hearing Srimad Bhagavatam.
A v načúvaní Srimad Bhagavatamu.
So, my question is maybe some idea which comes to your mind that what should be beside holy name and Bhagavatam, what should be the meditation of the mother? Like how to think about the future child?
Že aká by mala byť meditácia tej budúcej matky pri tom čantovaní, tak?
Or how she should meditate about the future for the child.
Yes, about the future for the child before maybe the child is conceived, or what should be her meditation, like in connection with the child.
Že aká má byť jej meditácia v spojitosti ako s tým dieťaťom.
Of course, every mother, I believe, she wants to have nice children.
A samozrejme, každá matka chce mať pekné deti, dobré deti.
And mother who is a devotee, of course, it's natural for her to would like to have a devotee child.
Matka, ktorá je oddaná, tak prirodzene ona bude chcieť mať dieťa, ktoré je oddané.
So it's then obvious if the mother is intelligent, then she should give very good example of devotional life to her child.
Je zrejme, že ak je trocha inteligentná, tak bude chcieť dať tomu dieťaťu ten príklad toho duchovného života.
Yes, this of course father is also involved.
A samozrejme otec je tiež dôležitý.
And yes, I mentioned especially that she also chants when she's breastfeeding the child.
Ja som tiež zmienil, že je dôležité, že keď kojí, tak aby spievala sväté meno.
And that is really important because then the holy name, the child is sucking the holy name along with her mother's milk or his mother's milk.
Že je to dôležité z toho dôvodu, že to dieťa pije to sväté meno s tým mliekom od tej matky.
Yes, and along with it goes the feeling of security, of love, of nourishment, of warmth.
A s tým prichádza tá bezpečnosť tej lásky, tepla, výživy.
Yes, this is so important, samskara.
Je to veľmi dôležitá samskara.
Because everything we meet in our life, in fact, everything we see, everything we hear, it leaves a lasting impression in our consciousness.
Takže čokoľvek my vnímame, čokoľvek vidíme, jeme, tak ďalej, tak to dáva nejaký vnem do nášho vedomia.
Our consciousness is compared with wax, no?
Naše vedomie je prirovnané k vaku.
What you know? What is it? Wax? Like candle is from wax.
K
Vosek.
vosku.
So, and in older times they put a stamp into the wax.
A v tých starších časoch oni tam zvykli dávať pečiatky do toho vosku.
And so, whatever impression we have, it's like a stamp in the wax of our consciousness.
A akýkoľvek vnem my máme, tak to je ako taká otlačka do toho nášho vedomia.
So, if mother's meditation is for her child to be a good devotee, and she gives him this example with chanting the holy name and breastfeeding, and also taking care that the child is fed only with prasadam, and to have only devotee association and only devotional impressions with books and kirtan and so on, then
Takže ak matka, ona je v tom ako tak ponorená, že alebo zameraná na to, že ten dojem, hej, ktorý získava vlastne z tých rôznych činností, hej, ako je čítanie alebo kirtan alebo
and her meditation about the child as a devotee,
celá tá meditácia o tom dieťati ako o danom,
then all of her mood will also be a stamp in the child's consciousness.
že celý ten jej mood, tá nálada bude tiež taká určitá otlačka v tom vedomí toho dieťaťa.
So, yes, it is important for mother to be fixed in this determination to make her child a devotee.
Že áno, je to dôležitá meditácia, aby to dieťa bolo, aby bolo dané.
Did I understand your question correctly?
Pochopil som tú otázku správne.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, maybe just it was my idea that because I heard that
Áno, že to nie hej, ale že to bol iba môj nápad, lebo som niečo počula.
that the parents should together talk about the child before conceiving, maybe to talk about what the qualities they want him to have.
Že rodičia, že by mali akože diskutovať o tom, že čo to dieťa vlastne ako, aké by chceli, aké by malo mať ako kvality.
Even I know devotees which were trying to do some chart to get precisely the child they want.
Som počúval od daných, ktorí si dali robiť nejakú horoskop, že presne aké dieťa chcú.
This is Ishvara mentality.
To je Ishvara mentalita.
So therefore I'm asking, like, in general, like, what should be like our attitude, and if
To som sa pýtala, že čo vo všeobecnosti by máme náš postoj.
Yes. Of course, there are some recommended dates, or someone can help us to choose the date.
Samozrejme sú tam nejaké doporučené dni, alebo nám niekto môže poradiť.
But we didn't have very good experiences with this.
Ale my sme nemali veľmi dobrú skúsenosť.
So we decided then ourselves,
Takže my sme sa
without
rozhodli sami,
any external help.
bez nejakej tej vonkajšej pomoci.
Maybe for some pairs it is good.
Možno pre nejaké páry to môže byť dobré.
But there is some descriptions of what kind of child. Of course, the best recommendation is given by Prabhupada. There is Garbhodana Sanskara.
Že to najlepšie doporučenie je vlastne dané ako Prabhupádom, že urobí tú Garbhodana Sanskaru.
And if a woman knows her body, she knows when she's fertile.
A keď žena pozná svoje telo, tak ona vie, kedy je plodná.
So at that time it's the best to try to conceive a child.
Takže vtedy je ten najlepší čas, kedy ona majú vlastne ako sa pokúsiť o to dieťa splodiť.
Yes. And of course with prayer that the child will be a good devotee.
Samozrejme s modlitbou, že to dieťa bude dobre oddané.
For Lord's pleasure.
Pre Pánové potešenie.
But more we have this desire to control, more can we be disappointed.
Čím viacej my budeme mať tú mentalitu to kontrolovať, tak tým viacej môžeme byť potom sklamaní.
Yes, we should know this, because more desire for control you have, then nothing is perfect in this world.
Čím viacej chceme mať tej kontroly, tak nič
And
nie je
nothing is under our control. Ultimately, yes, we should accept this, that we are just the servants, we are not controllers.
Takže toto musíme akceptovať, že sme iba služobníci, že nie sme kontrolovateľe.
But if we want to play this role of controllers, maybe Krishna will teach us that we are not.
A keď budeme sa chcieť hrať toho, že sme kontrolovia, tak Krishna možno nás naučí takú lekciu, že nám ukáže, že nie sme.
Yes. So Prabhupada didn't mention much about astrologers in this connection.
Prabhupada veľmi nezmienil niečo veľa o astrológii.
In general, if you read Prabhupada's books, he doesn't put much emphasis on astrologers. In any case,
Vo všeobecnosti, keď
the most
to čítame Prabhupádové knihy, tak on nedával veľký dôraz na astrológov.
the most that he recommend astrologer is mainly in the relationship with to marry, who to marry.
Že to, čo najviac ako tam zmieňoval, tak bolo skôr o tom, že koho si vybrať ako za partnera.
Yes. So, but not for other purposes.
Ale nie za iným účelom.
I know one devotee couple in Slovenia. They wanted to have the child that will save them from birth and death or something like this.
Ja poznám taký pár v Slovensku, ktorí chceli mať dieťa, ktoré ich zachráni z rodenia a smrti.
And they were praying for such a child.
Oni sa modlili za také dieťa.
And they got a child with, how it's called? This Down, how it's called? Down syndrome. Yes.
A on bol ako autista.
No, not autism.
Down
Down syndrome. Yes. So they were devastated. But he's really a devotee. Yes. His only focus is devotional service. I mean, he's little boy now, 2 years old or something. but he loves devotees, he loves to come to the temple, but he's not in a shape that they prayed, that they hoped that he'll be.
Takže on je oddaný, on je ešte len malý chlapec a rád chodí do chrámu a rád je s oddanými, ale on není v tej forme, akú oni si predstavovali.
Yes, exactly. So we should live this to Krishna, I think it's the best. Of course, it's natural that we want the child to be good devotee, but we shouldn't be too much controllers.
Takže musíme to nechať na Krišnovi, že nemali by sme byť prílišní kontrolovateľia.
Would you like to add something? Okay, it's okay? Any other question? Yes, please.
When is the proper time to have a child? Because I often see that many devotees, they are thinking, okay, first I need to have good position, like material facilities, to have a house, to have good property, then something, and then they have already 40 years or something,
Yes.
they are waiting. So, but I see it really often in nowadays.
Yes,
So,
it's true.
So what
All over the
is,
world,
yeah.
it's like this. I recommend to, and not only I believe everyone or many devotees know Bhagavata-dharma Prabhu, Trusuno, Dr. Trusuno from Russia.
Že je taký podaný vlastne doktor Trusinov z Ruska.
Yes, his devotional name is Bhagavata-dharma Prabhu.
Odaria?
Bhagavata-dharma.
Bhagavata-dharma sa volá, to je duchovné meno.
Have you heard about him? He's a famous doctor. He also comes to Slovenia sometimes.
To je taký slavný doktor, občas chodí aj do Slovenska.
And he made hundreds of devotees in Russia.
A on akože inšpiroval stovky oddaných v Rusku.
Yes, by his preaching.
Svojim kázaním.
And he's a little bit mystic personality.
On je troška taká mystická osobnosť.
He has some powers.
Má nejaké schopnosti.
And he says, this is not some mystical knowledge, but very common sense knowledge,
Ale také poznanie zdravého rozumu.
that we should do everything according to proper time.
Že mali by sme robiť všetko na základe správneho času.
And then everything will go smoothly.
A potom všetko pôjde tak bez prekážok.
And if we do out of this proper time, then it will be great struggle.
A keď tie veci budeme robiť mimo ten správny čas, tak potom tie veci budeme zakúšať pri nich ťažkosti.
And we can see in Vedic system was that girls were married quite young.
A vidíme vo vedskom systéme, že dievčatá oni boli vydávané dosť mladé.
And also boys.
Aj chlapci.
And of course the most proper time for having a child is early 20s.
A to je najlepšie časy pre to zrodenie, pre to dieťa je tie skorých 20 rokov.
Especially for women.
Špeciálne pre ženy.
Yes. And also for men not to be over 30.
A tiež aj pre mužov, aby nemali cez 30.
And to have not just one, but more children.
A nie, že by mali len jedno dieťa, ale aspoň viacej.
It's really good and beneficial.
Je to veľmi prospešné a dobré.
And if family has many children, then the family is very powerful.
A keď tá rodina má viacej detí, tak je veľmi mocná.
You can imagine that no one will mess with you if you have 5 brothers. No one will mess with you if you have 5 brothers.
Že nikto sa nebude s vami byť, keď máš 5 bratov.
Or even more.
Alebo ešte viacej.
And people are really powerful if they connect 2 or 3 in whatever situation. They can achieve many things if they stick together.
A ľudia skutočne sú mocní, keď sa spoja zo pár ľudí dohromady, keď dokážu držať pri sebe.
Yes, and if they are brothers and sisters, they stick together like anything.
A keď oni sú bratia alebo sestry, tak oni držia pri sebe najviac.
They are unconquerable.
A oni sú neporaziteľní.
Yes, and the people who grow up in such environment, they have strong foundation. They cannot be moved. They are not afraid because they have strong family community around themselves.
A takí ľudia, oni, ktorí majú ako taký dobrý základ, tak s nimi sa nedá pohnúť, alebo majú dobrú vlastne rodinu alebo komunitu.
Yes, they cannot be manipulated.
Oni nemôžu byť manipulovaní.
They are not afraid.
Oni sa nemajú strach.
And therefore the modern society doesn't encourage big families.
A preto moderná spoločnosť nedoporučuje veľké rodiny.
They support divorces
Oni podporujú rozvody.
and encourage divorces even.
Dokonca ich podporujú.
And because if one is alone, he's completely vulnerable.
A pokiaľ niekto je sám, tak on je taký
Ranliu. You can not just manipulate, but you can hurt someone.
Je taký zraniteľný.
Yes, and so such a person is always in anxiety
A taká osoba, ona je vždycky v úzkosti
and full of fear.
a plná strachu.
Yes, and of course easily to manipulate.
A samozrejme ľahko manipulovateľná.
Yes, and is good customer.
Je to dobrý zákazník.
Yes, because he's in anxiety and he or she will buy more and more things to have some feeling of security.
Pretože on bude kupovať viacej a viacej veci, aby sa cítil bezpečnejšie.
Yes, and is some kind of a slave of modern society.
Takže je to určitý druh vraždy tej modernej spoločnosti.
So it's extremely beneficial to have big family.
Takže je to veľmi prospešné mať takú veľkú rodinu.
And if you have more children, then you don't have to put so much energy in upbringing yourself.
A keď máte viacej detí, tak nepotrebujete dávať toľko veľa energie do tej výchovy.
Because they care among themselves for each other.
Pretože oni sa učia jeden od druhého.
Yes, and they play together. Mother doesn't need to always hold the child for the hand because they play together.
Matka nemusí stále držať to dieťa za ruku, pretože sa hrá s tým súrodencom.
Yes, and the older children will teach the younger what is proper, is what's not.
A tí starší, oni budú učiť tých mladších, čo je správne a čo nie.
And often this teaching from brothers and sisters is more acceptable for younger children than from parents.
A to učenie od tých starších súrodencov je častokrát priateľnejšie pre nich ako od tých rodičov.
So, in many ways, it's better to have many children.
Čiže z viacerých dôvodov je lepšie mať viacej detí.
Yes. And according to our experience, you always get some clothes.
A z našej skúsenosti vždycky budete mať nejaké veci.
So it's not so expensive.
Čiže nie je to ani nejaké drahé.
This is my recommendation.
Čiže to je moje doporučenie.
Anything else?
Ešte nejaké ďalšie otázky?
Yes, please.
By som sa chcela opýtať, že keď hovoril o tom veku od 5 do 10,
I would like to ask when you mentioned this age from 5 to 10,
že tam prichádza tá prísna výchova tým chlapcom,
that it starts the strict
Army teaching.
teaching.
Yes.
že aká je tam vlastne tá úloha potom tej matky, ako sa má chovať tá matka.
What is the position of mother? How she should act.
The role of the mother is that she nourishes the whole family with love and food.
A tá úloha matky je, že ona dáva rodine lásku a jedlo.
Yes, this is extremely important. Of course, she also teaches the child. She's not just cooking and be quiet.
Samozrejme, ona tiež učí, akože to dieťa, to neznamená, že len varí, že je ticho.
Not at all. Mothers also teaches the child, and of course all her children, even in this age. But this role of discipline should be father's role.
Čiže ona samozrejme učí to dieťa aj v tomto veku, ale tá úloha tej disciplíny, to je na otcovi.
So even if mother wants to teach the child, it's the father's duty to support the mother.
Čiže aj keď je matka, ona chce učiť to dieťa, tak je to otcová rola, aby on podporil ju.
Yes, if the child doesn't want to listen to her mother, it's the duty of the father to enforce that the child listen to his mother.
A pokiaľ to dieťa nechce počúvať matku, tak je to otcová povinnosť, aby donútil to dieťa, aby počúvalo tú matku.
Yes.
Maybe to understand.
No, the microphone.
When I decided to homeschool, we decided to homeschool our children, and it was obvious that I will do it for 2 boys.
A keď my sme sa rozhodli, že budeme učiť vlastne doma, a bolo to zjavné, že to budem robiť ja,
I was told by devotees who had experience
nebolo doporučené od dodaných, ktorí vlastne mali skúsenosť,
that we have the system, the father is the head principle of homeschooling.
Čiže mali sme ten systém, že otec je hlava toho systému domáceho vyučovania.
And I'm the teacher. And yeah.
A ja som ten ako ten učiteľ.
If something is wrong, seriously wrong, you go to the headmaster.
A keď je niečo zlé, vážne zlé, tak idete k tomu riaditeľovi.
Direktor.
Like this.
Takže takýmto štýlom.
Yes, and it works.
Funguje to.
As we discussed, I don't know which day, maybe it was yesterday, that when Gopal and Nitai, they didn't want to do school as they should, then they had to rise early in the morning at 4 o'clock, and they did the school with me before I went to the job.
Takže, ako sme spomínali predtým, že keď tí chlapci nechceli počúvať mamu, akože doma v škole, učiť sa, tak proste oni museli stávať ešte pred 4 ráno a museli sa učiť so mňou. A ja som potom išiel, ešte predtým, ako som išiel do práce.
And after a few months, they decided it's better to listen to their mother.
A po niekoľkých mesiacoch oni pochopili, že je lepšie počúvať svoju matku.
So, and I always told them, whatever mother says, it's sacred.
A som vždycky hovoril, že to, čo povie matka, je sveté.
Yes. So, they, of course, the parents should support each other.
Samozrejme, tí rodičia, oni sa musia podporovať.
And mother has normal role, but not in this discipline. Of course, she have to say this is right and this is not right, but to enforce this is father's role.
Matka, ona má normálnu rolu, hej, ona povie, toto je dobré, toto je zlé, hej, ale to ustanoviť, to je rola toho otca.
Is this clear?
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Any more questions? Yes, please.
Question.
And who knows about the questions through internet?
A vie niekto o tých otázkach cez internet?
Because I think Mahasankarshan mentioned that there were some questions. I don't know, but
He maybe he read, he's in kitchen, so he will come.
okay.
So my question is if the children, for the children is enough just the association of adults, or they need also association of other children to help the
Development.
He's coming.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna is sending message that only one question was there, but it was completely out of
Topic.
topic.
Okay. Thank you. It was interesting founding in America about the homeschooling children.
Čiže bol to zaujímavý nález v Amerike, čo sa týka tých detí, ktoré boli vyučované doma.
Because there is a common argument that homeschooling is not good because of socialization.
Pretože bol taký všeobecný názor, že domáce vzdelávanie nie je dobré kvôli tej socializácii.
And what they found out was that the homeschooled children are better socialized than those who went to school.
Ale to, čo sa zistilo potom, bolo, že tie deti, ktoré boli vyučované doma, tak sa lepšie socializovali ako tie, ktoré boli ako spoločne
In ordinary school.
v obyčajnej škole.
Yes. And why? Because those who were homeschooled, they were used to have relationship with all kinds of ages of different people.
A pretože tí, ktorí boli vlastne vyučovaní doma, tak oni mali širokú škálu vekovú, s ktorou sa stretávali.
And they normally have conversation with different people, younger people, older people, middle-aged people, with everyone.
Že oni mali také konverzácie s staršími ľuďmi, s mladými ľuďmi, s rovnocennými, s mladšími.
Yes, but those who are schooling at school,
Ale tí, ktorí sú učení v škole,
they are enclosed in some bubble of same age people.
a oni sú zatvorení v takej bubline rovnakého veku.
And then from this comes
The sound that kind of.
Oh, yes. okay, and from and from and from this comes the generation gap.
A z toho vlastne vzniká potom ten generačná medzera.
And they have the feeling, these children who are growing up in this same age bubble, they have the feeling that no one understands them.
Tie deti majú ten pocit, že nikto im potom nerozumie.
Because they create some subculture, their own subculture of the same age relationship.
Takú subkultúru iba v tom vlastne jednom veku, pretože oni sú iba s tými deťmi v rovnakom veku spojení.
And adult people, they can clearly see that these children don't understand them.
A tí dospelí oni vidia úplne, že tieto deti oni im nerozumejú.
And there is no conversation between these ordinary schooled children and adult people.
A tam nie je žiadna konverzácia medzi tými deťmi, ktorí chodia do takej obyčajnej školy a medzi deťmi, ktoré sú učené doma. A medzi rodičmi.
There is some example of conversation when the child comes from school.
A je taký príklad konverzácie, keď dieťa príde zo školy.
How was it in school? Good.
Že ako bolo v škole? Dobre.
Have you done your homework?
Urobil si úlohy?
Yes.
Áno.
What did you have for your homework?
Čo si mal na domáce úlohy?
Nothing. Is such a conversation usual also here in Slovakia?
Je taká bežná konverzácia aj tu na Slovensku.
Yes. So it looks like this.
Vypadá to tak.
Okay. Anything else?
Nejaké ďalšie otázky?
Yes, please.
Mňa napadlo ešte k tomuto, že či tam nie je aj výhoda domáceho vzdelávania, ten osobný prístup a osobná pomoc pri tých veciach.
To this point, I was thinking if there is not helpful like this homeschooling, like personal
Prístup.
Approach. Yes. What was the question?
If there is not, if it is helpful, like in the homeschooling, the personal approach to the children.
Yes, of course. In school there are a lot of pupils there, students.
Samozrejme, v tej bežnej škole tam je veľa študentov, veľa detí.
And the teacher cannot devote his or her time very much to one student.
A ten učiteľ nemá tú možnosť dostatočne vlastne sa oddať tomu študentovi.
And especially if there are big classes that 30 students or 25 or 20 students.
Keď sú také veľké triedy, akože tam je 25-30 žiakov.
It's very difficult. I was a teacher also in public school.
Že je to veľmi náročné, ja som bol tiež učiteľ v takej verejnej škole.
And it was really crazy because there were a group of these students who didn't follow for years this subject. And so they were completely out of touch and didn't follow, and they just created disturbance.
A bola vždycky nejaká skupina tých žiakov, ktorí vôbec nenasledovali to učivo, a iba robili stále rozruch.
And there were the group who already knew what you were explaining them, and they were bored and they create disturbance.
A potom tam bola skupina, ktorá už vedela, o čom hovoríte, a oni tiež robili rozruch, lebo sa nudili.
So you were teaching a middle group of few students.
Takže ste učili iba strednú skupinu študentov.
So, who hardly follow because of so much disturbance from other students.
Takže ťažko nasledovali, lebo z toho celého rozrušenia tých ostatných.
Yes. So, of course, it's much better to have this personal approach. In homeschooling is completely different. For example, Kalindi now sees the difference because before it was concentrated work at home.
Že samozrejme je to oveľa lepšie ten osobný prístup a napríklad Kalindi ona teraz vidí ten rozdiel, pretože predtým to bola taká koncentrovaná práca.
Yes, but now she says that in school they lose majority of time just to start.
že tam veľa času tam stratili iba tým, že nejak aby začali.
So it's complete waste of time.
Že je to veľká strata času.
And no teacher devotes to individual student practically.
A žiadny učiteľ sa nevzťahuje individuálne k tým žiakom.
Okay, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, I also had experience. I was also in school, but not in the class. But I was there for individual help for 2 years.
For those who had problems.
Yeah.
Ja som tiež mala skúsenosti v škole, ale nie akože na tých jednotlivých hodinách, ale bola som ako pomocník pre tých, ktorí mali problémy.
And one day teacher gave me some 2 or 3 excellent students, like the best for mathematics.
A raz mi dali učiteľia takých 2-3 najlepších študentov z matematiky.
Because they were like 2 or 3 hours behind because they had something. They were not present. They were absent.
Pretože oni boli
for a few hours.
Neboli prítomní niekoľko hodín.
And she wanted me to catch up the subject.
A ona chcela, aby oni sa napojili na ten námet.
So I was expecting how to say that they will be
motivated.
Yeah, self-motivated to
Že
work.
som očakával od nich, že oni budú takí ako samomotivovaní.
And I gave them like at home with my children. Here you have this page, study this. And they were just looking at me if I'm crazy. And they said, you need to explain to us what is this, how to this. I said, okay. And then, yeah.
Že ja som, ako keď som učila doma deti, tak som bola na to zvyknutá, tak som im dala vlastne tie úlohy a tak, že si to proste pripravia, pozrú si to A tí deti na mňa pozerajú, že ale akože ty nám to musíš vysvetliť, my to nesmieme.
And then I really explained everything and they didn't understand.
A potom som im to vysvetlila všetko úplne.
And then
a oni nechápali.
then they somehow got it.
A potom to nejakým spôsobom
And then I gave them this how to say exercises
a
to.
potom som im dala, oni to nejak chytili a potom som im dala.
And it was a little different, a little something. And they again needed my support, my everything. You know, they are so insecure in school. They all the time need someone to support them. They are not that they would independent to look, to check, to you know.
Yeah.
It's just.
But those who are homeschooled,
oni vlastne nevedeli sa prispôsobiť, že ona dala nejaký príklad a on bol iba tak trošičku pozmenený od toho, ako sa naučili. No a tie deti vlastne neboli schopné to proste zase potrebovali tú pomoc a oni potrebovali vlastne ako, aby na nich niekto dozeral a nemali taký nezávislý spôsob ako uvažovania, že museli mať stále niekoho, kto ich tam proste...
But it might be also that some are like independent, but maybe they are just acting because this is the mood in the school, you know. Mm-hmm. This is like this in the school, but otherwise maybe in different situation when they have to show something for grade, they would probably be better, I think. I hope.
možno oni, pretože boli tak učení, tak vlastne oni tak jednali a možno keby boli v nejakej inej situácii, kde by museli niečo byť ako taký viacej nezávislý, niečo tvoriť alebo tak možno, že by jednali ináč, dúfam.
But for example, Kalindi and also the boys.
Ako Kalindi alebo chlapci.
They became really. They studied alone when in higher grades of elementary school.
Oni študovali sami v tých vyšších ročníkoch.
And if they couldn't understand something, they didn't just ask us, but they found their answers elsewhere also, completely independently.
Oni vlastne, keď to študovali sami a keď nevedeli na niečo prísť, tak nepýtali sa nás hneď, ale skôr sa snažili nájsť to a vyriešiť to a boli takí plne nezávislí.
Yes. So, of course, to have some association of same age is also needed sometimes.
Ale tá spoločnosť v tom rovnakom veku je tiež potrebná.
Yes, we have, for example, we had this fortune that our children had at least to some degree same age friends among devotees.
A my sme mali aspoň to šťastie, že naše deti mali priateľov podobného veku oddaných.
Gopal and Nitai not so much as Kalindi.
Gopal and Nitai nie až tak veľmi, ale aj Kalindi, áno.
But they were of similar age themselves, just 2 years of difference.
Ale oni boli podobného veku. Iba 2 roky rozdiel.
So they have each other company. And so that's why also beneficial to have many children. But we also sent all of our children, all 3, to music school.
Ale všetky tie deti sme posielali vlastne na hudobnú školu.
And to train some sport.
Aby trénovali nejaký šport.
So they also had association with children in those 2 activities.
Takže oni mali tiež spoločnosť aj s deťmi v takom veku.
Of course they didn't hang out with them.
Samozrejme, oni s nimi neboli akože vonku.
But they were not isolated from them either.
Ale neboli ani izolovaní od nich.
Okay.
Skôr, či?
I answered your question.
No, I had some just point to this education that I had also this experience with Narayani, že ja mám tiež tú skúsenosť ako z Narayani, že she is learning like homeschool, but she is like mostly independent by the school. I just helped her when she needed, but otherwise she learned alone. Že je tiež akože ona je taká nezávislá a vlastne sa učí sama a keď potrebuje, tak vlastne jej pomáham a tak. And I teach her also in this way that I should not be there all life by her. She needs to know where to find, how to find, how.
Yes.
A ja som jej tiež ako vysvetľoval, že ja nemôžem byť celý život pri nej a učiť ju všetko, že musí hľadať spôsoby, ako prísť na veci a tak.
Yes. This is important.
And I noticed also that children in school don't connect the snow.
The subject matter.
Yes, they don't connect, like just simple things. They just don't connect from previous hours. They think that something is done, okay, forget it, now something totally new. No, it's not totally new. And teachers probably don't teach like this. Everything is connected, everything is easy, don't complicate. At home you can present like this. And everything, the whole picture is easy. But in school they have this very meticulously everything, and they just forget it.
Details of everything, and then everyone forgets completely everything.
So also exams should be. I always asked when at the end of the year.
Okay.
Sorry. Takže ten bod bol v tom, že Mataji hovorila, že keď oni vlastne sa učia v škole, tak oni to berú tak, že ten námet vlastne berú ako každý akože tak samostatne a veľmi podrobne. A keď idú do ďalšieho námetu, tak vlastne ten predchádzajúci už ich akože nezaujíma, už není podstatný, už na ňo vlastne zabudli. Ale že v tom domácom vyučovaní a nevedia to vlastne spojiť tie časti, celku jednotlivé časti. Hej? A v tom domácom vyučovaní to sa dá prezentovať jednoduchším spôsobom, že to je jednoduché a ako je tam tá spojitosť a že to nie je vôbec komplikované.
Okay. You wanted to ask something?
Dve veci, two things. Jedna, že pri tom domácom vzdelávaní má viacej ten rodič alebo ten gurukulský učiteľ pod kontrolou tú časť budovania charakteru.
That in homeschooling there is more under the control by the teacher the character part of the child.
Yes, of course. If you homeschool your child, it's big emphasis on character building, especially.
Samozrejme, že keď sa učíme doma, tak je práve tá dôležitosť toho budovania toho charakteru.
Especially that you bring up a devotee child.
Speciálne keď vzdelávate dieťa oddaného.
So that he or she devotes his or her life to Krishna.
Keď on alebo ona bude oddávať svoj život Krishnovi.
That means that he engages in sadhana bhakti.
Znamená, že sa zamestnáva v tej sadhana bhakti.
This is the duty of a father, in fact, to establish this system and that everyone follows it.
Takže to je tá povinnosť toho otca, aby ustanovil ten systém a každý ho nasledoval.
Yes, and of course, along with this, it's also character building.
A s tým je spojené práve to budovanie toho charakteru.
So if there will be a school here, devotee school, that doesn't mean that the parents they don't have any responsibilities for their children anymore.
To neznamená, že tí rodičia už nemajú zodpovednosti za tie deti.
And they should of course teach them to have regular and strong sadhana.
Oni ich majú učiť, že majú mať pravidelnú a silnú sadhanu.
And they should have clear goal of life.
Majú mať jasný cieľ života.
And clear goal of life, of course, is prima bhakti.
A ten jasný cieľ života je prema bhakti.
And not to become rich or famous or anything like this.
Nie to, že byť bohatý alebo slávny alebo niečo takéto.
Yes. So they should know what is the purpose of their life.
Takže mali by vedieť, čo je význam toho života.
You wanted to?
Yes, still. That's the second
Hmm?
part.
A second part.
Hej, že
Okay.
spojený s tým, že do akej miery kombinuje sa vzdelávanie, že či sa vôbec kombinuje vzdelávanie ako potrebné pre to vzdelanie v tej škole s vajšnavským vzdelávaním, či sa vôbec to nejak kombinuje to vzdelávanie a keď áno, do akej miery.
So if it shall be combined, the education of Vaishnava, like devotional things, with social, like study, like mathematics or all these things, and if to which extent it shall be combined.
Yes, if a child has inclination for study,
Že ak tvoje dieťa má vlastne inklináciu k nejakému druhu štúdia,
he should be encouraged.
tak by malo byť podporené.
And he should has this purpose that with this study I will try to spread the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
A mal by mať tú víziu, že pomocou tohto štúdia ja budem šíriť misiu Pána Chaitanya.
That means propagating Krishna consciousness, philosophy,
Krishna vedomú filozofiu.
somehow or other. That means that they should be encouraged to be the best students.
To znamená, že mali by byť inšpirovaní, aby boli tí najlepší študenti.
But if they don't have inclination for now it's again this if they don't have inclination for study,
Ale ak oni nemajú nejakú inšpiráciu k nejakému špecifickému štúdiu,
we shouldn't force them to study.
nemali by sme ich nútiť ako študovať.
But we should encourage them to find the mission in life connected with the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Ale mali by sme ich inšpirovať, aby si našli ten cieľ života v spojení s misiou Pána Chaitanya.
Whatever it is, whatever they prefer.
Čokoľvek oni to bude, čo preferujú.
For example, our eldest son, he went to England and he studied there.
Ako náš starší syn, on išiel do Anglicka, tam študoval.
And Nitai, he didn't want to go to study, and he wanted to. He was by some miracle accepted by Kadamba Karana Maharaj for his servant, in his first darshan with him.
A ten stredný syn, on bol nejakým zázrakom akceptovaný Karamakana Maharajom hneď ako jeho pri prvom daršane ako jeho služobník.
And so he went with him.
Tak išiel s ním
And he was fully supported by us.
a bol plne podporený nami.
So everyone should be encouraged to find his own way of living.
Každý má byť inšpirovaný alebo podporený v tom, aby išiel svojou cestou života.
Yes. But of course, responsible life.
Samozrejme zodpovedný život.
Because if you are brahmachari, you should also be responsible.
Takže keď si brahmachari, musíš byť tiež zodpovedný.
You shouldn't be spaced out brahmachari.
Nemáš byť space out brahmachari.
Yes.
Ďakujem vám pekne, mi to zodpovedalo veľmi dôležitú vec.
So it answered me very important things.
Ale tú otázku som smeroval skôr na to, že pri tom vzdelávaní, príklad základom v tom veku pána Uganda, či to vzdelávanie kombinovať s vajšnavským nejakým vzdelávaním, príklad, že mám 5 hodín denne ako učím tie deti a že či tam dávať aj vajšnavské vzdelávanie alebo nie.
And he was also thinking about like in this age of Uganda, when there is a part of teaching the child of these material things, if it should be also some part of time of teaching like Vaishnava things.
Yes, of course. Vaishnava philosophy and programs should always be there. This is our life, not just during the week, but also during weekends.
Čiže tá výučba vlastne tých vajšnavských vecí, to je náš život, to tam musí byť. A nie len, že cez víkend, ale akože každý deň.
Yes. That means, for example, there is time for chanting early in the morning.
Takže je tam čas na chantovanie.
And after chanting there is reading of Shastra.
A po chantovaní je čítanie šastier.
Every child should read Shastra after chanting.
Každé dieťa by malo po spievaní čítať knižky.
And there should be programs together.
Mali by byť spoločné programy.
Listening to classes together.
Počúvať lekcie dohromady.
And also reading together.
A tiež čítať spolu.
And then we, of course, also discuss things together. And it's very good that Father, who teaches philosophy, shows what is pure devotional service and what is not pure devotional service.
A je tiež dobré, keď ten otec, keď učí tú filozofiu, aby ukázal, toto je čistá oddaná služba, a toto nie je čistá oddaná služba.
And this is deviation.
A toto je odchýlka.
And not just some dogma, but also explains why.
A nie len ako nejaká dogma, ale aj vysvetliť prečo.
Yes. And then children are very intelligent and they very quickly understand the difference between what is pure devotional service and what is contaminated devotional service.
A potom deti oni veľmi rýchlo porozumejú tomu, že čo je čistá oddaná služba a čo je zmiešaná oddaná služba.
Yes, this should be our life, not just part of education.
To nemá byť časť vzdelávania, to má byť náš život.
Yes. You wanted to ask something?
I also have been teaching in the school, so I have this experience with having like 25 or 30 children in the class. And what I noticed that in first 4 grades, the children are, what's important, the boys, they can follow. Like because they could relate to me as to mother, but from the 5th grade and then 6th, 8th, 9th, they are much more grown up, and they were perceiving me as a woman much more than authority. So I noticed that for a woman, like it's possible to teach like young children, but when they, especially boys, but when the boys are grown up, they need strong
Authority.
a strong authority. So in the school it doesn't work properly. So my question is.
And even man teacher cannot enforce authority there because the system doesn't allow.
Ja som akože tiež akože učiteľka a mala som tú skúsenosť, že keď tam do toho tie prvé 4 ročníky, vlastne tí chlapci, oni ma ešte akceptovali ako učiteľku prirodzene, hej, a ako matku, hej, ale v tých vyšších ročníkoch oni už ma neakceptovali ako učiteľa, ale skôr ma brali ako ženu. Oni ako keby potrebovali nejakú takú silnú autoritu, akože mužskú. A Prabhu hovorí, že ale že keď tam aj je, tak ona tým systémom, ten muž to nemôže, ten učiteľ ako chlap, on to nemôže ustanoviť ako silou, lebo ten systém to nedovolí.
Yes.
Čiže otázka je,
but yes, I can imagine this first 4 grades, but then we need to somehow manage the system. I don't know, maybe what is your advice?
Čiže moja otázka je, že ak tu teda budem mať tú školu, tak si to viem predstaviť do toho 4. ročníka a potom asi to budem musieť nejak ako inak urobiť, že čo si myslíš ty, aký je tvoj názor?
Yes, I see your predicament.
Že ja vidím tú pochybu.
So it's necessary that parents and especially fathers strongly support the school, of course.
Čiže to, čo je dôležité, je, aby tí rodičia, špeciálne otcovia, oni silne podporili vlastne tú školu.
Yes, and doesn't allow the boys to be disrespectful in any way.
Aby nedovolili chlapcom, aby boli nejakým spôsobom neúctiví.
And so it's again father's role to enforce the discipline.
A znova je to povinnosť toho otca, aby ustanovil tú disciplínu.
If there is no possibility to have a male teacher for them.
Tá možnosť máte učiteľa chlapa.
Because the best system would be to separate girls from boys.
Takže najlepší systém by bolo oddeliť tých chlapcov a dievčatá.
Jai Shri Shri Nitai Gaur Chandra ki Jai Nitai Gaur Brahmanandi Hari Bol. So if this would be the system, it would be the best. Then a male teacher would teach the boys and a female teacher would teach the girls.
Čiže to bolo najlepšie, že ten muž učí ženy a žena učí dievčatá.
Yes, like this. So, but if there is one teacher, female teacher for boys and girls, the fathers should strongly support the teacher and enforce discipline for their sons.
A keď je tam učiteľ iba jeden, žena, a učí aj dievčatá, aj chlapcov, tak ona musí byť veľmi silne podporená vlastne tými rodičmi a tí otcovia oni musia ustanoviť tú disciplínu.
Especially if he's a good teacher.
A špeciálne, ak je to dobrý učiteľ.
Yes. This is my suggestion. Because if there is no support from the parents, then the teacher is completely helpless.
Ale ak tam není tá podpora od tých rodičov, tak ten učiteľ je bezradný.
Or if the parents are against the teacher, it's completely impossible to teach anyone.
Alebo tí rodičia, že sú proti tomu učiteľovi, tak není možné nikoho učiť.
So that shouldn't be in the devotee community, especially if the teacher is okay.
A to by malo byť, pokiaľ ten učiteľ je OK.
Yes. Hare Krishna. Anything else?
Ešte niečo?
Yes, please.
Ďakujem veľmi pekne za všetky tvoje lekcie.
Thank you very much for all the lectures.
A všetko to znie veľmi úžasne a vyzerá to byť celé taký život a vzdelávanie podľa týchto princípov a zásad taký v kvalite dobra.
It seems that what you said, that the teaching is all in mode of goodness.
Moja otázka je, týka sa, že ale veľa oddaných, ich oddaná služba a život je v nižších kvalitách.
So many devotees and their life are more in lower modes of nature.
Môžeme vidieť, že sa stretávame s tým, že ak niekto sa snaží žiť takto podľa princípov, že začne byť označovaný za nejakého fanatika alebo nezrelú osobu.
That we become
If someone is very serious,
if somebody is very serious,
he can be designated as a fanatic.
Yes, in this, yes.
Or immature
Yeah.
personality.
Že či sa on ako počas svojho života v oddanej službe s týmto stretával, alebo stretáva, a ako sa s tým vysporiada.
So if you were also in that kind of situations and how you go through it.
Directly to me, no one said anything.
Takže priamo mne to nikto nepovedal.
But I heard from my own children
Ale počul som od mojich vlastných detí,
that some devotees told to my children that I'm too fanatic.
ale že niekto povedal mojim deťom, že som príliš fanatický.
And in such a mood that they shouldn't follow me,
A v takej
my
nálade,
own children.
že oni by ma nemali nasledovať.
And those who were talking like that to my children,
A tí, ktorí tak hovorili mojim deťom,
their children are not devotees now.
a ich deti teraz nie sú.
And our children, fortunately, so far, they are devotees.
Ale naše deti doteraz sú dané.
And they all chant more than 16 rounds.
A všetci čítajú viacej ako 16 kôl.
And they follow regulative principles.
A sledujú regulatívne princípy.
And they're established in their ashram,
A sú ustanovení vo svojom ašrame.
either as brahmachari or grihastha.
Či už ako brahmachari alebo grihastha.
So it proves them wrong.
Dosvedčilo sa im to ako nesprávne.
Yes. So, of course, we should be careful not to be fanatic.
Samozrejme, my musíme byť opatrní, aby sme neboli fanatici.
And we should know what does it mean to be fanatic.
A mali by sme vedieť, čo to znamená byť fanatik.
Fanatic is one who follows very strictly, but more in Niyamagraha way.
Fanatik znamená, že nasleduje striktne, ale v tej nálade Niyamagraha.
That means that he follows rules for rules' sake, not to understand what is right to be done and what is not right to be done.
To znamená, že on ich nasleduje za účelom nasledovania tých pravidel, nie aby im správne porozumel.
But who is serious in devotional service, he is very careful to understand Shastra properly.
A ten, kto je vážny v danej službe, tak sa snaží porozumieť tým písmam veľmi hlboko.
And he knows what is the purpose of life.
A vie, čo je význam života.
And he devotes his life to Krishna service.
A on odozdáva svoj život službe Krishna.
And he teaches his children or her children to devote themselves to Krishna service.
A učí svoje deti, aby odovzdali svoj život Krishnovi.
Yes. Of course, we should be most strict with ourselves.
Samozrejme, musíme byť najstriktnejší sami so sebou.
And less strict to our family members.
Menej striktní s našimi rodinnými príslušníkmi.
And very understanding to all others.
A veľmi zrozumiteľný k tým druhým.
Chápajúci.
Alebo chápajúci.
Yes. I think this is the best solution. But even if we are not in the mode of goodness, by following the process of devotional service, we come to the mode of goodness.
Ale ak aj my nie sme v tej kvalite dobra tým, že budeme nasledovať ten proces v danej službe, tak prídeme do tej kvality dobra.
Because many times I could hear, maybe you also heard like this, that first you should come to the mode of goodness and then you can practice devotional service.
Ale že možno ste to počuli, ja som to počul veľakrát, že najprv musíme prísť do kvality dobra a potom môžeme praktikovať aj na službu.
But this is not supported by Shastra.
Ale toto nie je podporené písmami.
Nashta preshva bhadrshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavatyuttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. Then by practicing devotional service, even before you took out all abhadrani, all what is not beneficial for devotional service, bhakti becomes naishtiki, very, as Prabhupada says, irrevocable fact, very strong, nishta.
Takže v tom verši sa hovorí, že aj keď ešte nie sú všetky tie nečistoty zo srdca odstránené, tak tá bhakti, ona môže byť pevne ustanovená.
By regular service to Srimad Bhagavatam and devotees, by regular devotional service.
Pravidelnú službu Bhagavatamu oddaným.
By regular devotional service. Tada, and the next verse says, Tada rajastamo bhavaha kama lobhadayasche cheta itaranadam vidam stitvam sattve prasidati. Only then you can conquer lower modes of rajas and tamas, and lust and greed and illusion, and be established in sattva guna. In goodness.
Iba takýmto spôsobom vlastne môžeme prekonať tie nižšie kvality hmotnej prírody, ako je chtíč,
vášne a nevedomosť.
Kvality vášne a nevedomosti a vlastne ustanoviť sa v tom dobre.
So by naishtiki bhakti, with nishta bhakti, tada rajastamo pavaha. Then we transcend these lower.
Takže to naishtiky bhakti, to ustálenú vodanou službou my môžeme transcendovať tie nižšie kvality.
Yes, this is possible only by devotional service.
To je možné iba oddanou službou.
Yes, no way, other way.
Není iný spôsob.
Hare Krishna. So, is there any other question about this? Yes, please.
Keď dieťa prejaví pochybnosť o tom, že existuje Krišna, že čo mu povedať vtedy?
So when the child have doubts about the existence of Krishna, what shall say to him?
Yes, this is important question.
To je veľmi dôležitá otázka.
First, he or she should have full example in us that we're really convinced about Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Takže najprv on musí vidieť, že my sme úplne oddaní najvyššej boskej osobnosti.
Yes, that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Že Krishna je najvyššia boská osobnosť.
And Shastra fully supports this.
Takže písma, oni to plne podporujú.
So if they read every day Shastra and we discuss Shastra and we have devotional life every day, and they should understand this.
Takže pokiaľ my máme vlastne tie diskusie, čítame tu tie písma a diskutujeme to, tak týmto spôsobom oni by to mali porozumieť tomu.
Yes. But there, that can be also logically explained.
Ale môže to byť aj logicky vysvetlené.
Of course, the transcendence is beyond logic, but still we can explain logically.
A samozrejme, transcendencia je mimo logiku a neviem, za logikou, ale my to napriek tomu môžeme logicky vysvetliť.
For example, we can ask them, is there anything that exists?
Môžeme sa ich spýtať, že či je tu niečo, čo existuje.
And obviously something exists.
A samozrejme, zjavne niečo existuje.
Yes. So if something exists, then everything exists.
Znamená, že keď niečo existuje, znamená, že všetko existuje.
Yes. Isn't it true? If something exists, then everything exists.
Takže keď niečo existuje, tak vlastne všetko musí existovať.
And if everything exists, that means that must be absolute.
Must be.
Absolute.
A keď je všetko existuje, znamená to, že musí byť aj absolútne.
Absolute is that which comprise everything.
Absolútne je niečo, čo zahrňuje všetko.
And if absolute exists, then he should have everything, it should have everything that its components have.
Takže keď je to absolútne, tak musí zahrňovať všetky tie komponenty, ktoré sú v ňom obsiahnuté.
Yes, if the absolute wouldn't have everything that its components have, that means that the absolute wouldn't be absolute anymore, would be something less than its components.
Takže keby ten absolútny nemal všetky tie komponenty, ktoré vlastne sú zahrnuté v tom absolútne, znamenalo by to, že ten absolútny je niečo menej ako tie komponenty samotné.
Yes. So it wouldn't be absolute anymore.
Takže už by nebol absolútny.
So if absolute has everything that its components have, that means because we are the components of absolute, because we are part of everything. So because we have our personality, we have our likings and dislikings and relationships. If absolute is really absolute, absolute also have this personality, likings, dislikings.
Takže pokiaľ absolútno vlastne má všetky tie prvky, ktoré sú v tom absolútne, tak potom vlastne aj my sme časťou toho ako absolútna. A keďže my máme osobnosť a máme veci, ktoré máme radi, nemáme radi, alebo tak potom aj to absolútno musí mať tieto aspekty osoby a niečo má rád, niečo nemá rád.
Yes. So, and this absolute personality is, of course, all attractive, because everyone is attracted to something.
A tá absolútna osobnosť, ona je najpriťažlivejšia, pretože každý je priťahovaný k niečomu.
A child is attracted to sweets.
To dieťa je priťahované k sladkostiam.
And to, I don't know, to good music.
Alebo niekto k dobrej hudbe.
And to, I don't know, to have loving relationship.
Alebo mať také láskyplné vzťahy.
Or to beautiful nature.
Alebo k krásnej prírode.
So everyone is attracted to something.
Že každý je priťahovaný k niečomu.
Or to have a lot of money.
Alebo mať množstvo peňazí.
Or to something.
Alebo niečo.
Everyone is attracted to something, or to opposite sex, or to whatever. So, if this attraction is part of everything, it's part of absolute.
Takže ak táto príťažlivosť je časťou absolútna, tak je absolútna.
Yes, so the absolute has all attractive power.
Takže absolútny má najpríťažlivejšiu silu.
Yes, and this is called Krishna.
A to je Krishna.
Because he's all attractive absolute.
Pretože on je najpríťažlivejší a absolútna.
Yeah. You wanted to say something?
Ja neviem, koľko je času, ale mám ešte poslednú takú otázku, že môžeme niekedy vidieť v spoločnosti daných, že v mene nejakého nedominacionalizmu, čo ak by som to jednoducho povedal, nejakej jednoty a nesektárskosti, že oddaní pre svoje deti organizujú tie tradičné sviatky ako Vianoce, Veľká noc a rôzne takéto kresťanské tradície alebo rôzne z iných náboženstiev tradície a že ako sa k tomu staviaš ty, k týmto nápadom. I saw in many devotees that in order to be like non-sectarian, not looking differently, they also make their home like this Christmas or retreat
or some some these Christians traditions they put in their life because they were used to it. They also
They celebrate
Yes.
Easter and
Yes.
and Christmas and so.
Yes.
What is your opinion on this?
If
Aký je názor a kto sa k tomu stavia?
Yes, we should know if we are inclined to this, it's no harm.
Že keď k tomu ako sme inklinujeme k tomu, tak ono to není na škodu.
Of course, we should have clear understanding that Jesus is pure devotee.
Ale mali by sme chápať, že Ježiš je čistý oddaný.
And that he, as Prabhupada explains, he's our guru in this sense.
A ako Prabhupada vysvetľuje, že on je guru v tom našom mysle?
So, but of course, at least in Slovenia, is tradition that those for Easter, they go to church and to get blessings for their Christmas eggs and Easter eggs and Easter ham. What is it? I don't know this word.
Here
Also.
Here also. Yes, I thought that you're talking about something else. Yes, here also. Yes, so as devotees we shouldn't do this, of course.
Takže cez tie napríklad Veľkú noc tam chodia posvedzovať si tie vajíčka alebo klobásy a tak nemali by sme to napodobne.
And we shouldn't become this customers in these big shops and just to celebrate this festivals, Christian festivals.
Nemali by sme byť nákupci v tých obchodoch a iba oslovať tie ich sviatky kresťanské.
She said that we can make a cake. Yes, potica, but they don't know what is potica.
Že môžeme urobiť ako
some traditional cake, which is very tasty.
Tradičný nejaký koláč, ktorý je dobrý.
It is rolled dough, and inside is with walnuts, the paste with walnuts inside, and the raisins.
Závin.
Štrudla.
No, it's not strudel. No, not strudel. Zavin. Yes. and she likes it very much. So she argues that it should be for these festivals. Yes, and it's good if then we can have a prasadam, this zavin, or how do we call it? Potica. Yes. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, we can use these festivals like Christmas and Easter to discuss what is spiritually. Yeah, and I can understand these devotees who follow this a little bit, because probably families are there from this background, they want to connect somehow with them.
We tried, for example, with with her parents to read a little bit from Bible at that time of, for example, for Christmas time, and to discuss a little bit on these topics, on spiritual topics.
Že napríklad otač vravela, že je dobré, že pretože vie tomu porozumieť, lebo v tom čase veľa ľudí napríklad cez tie Vianoce sa stretávajú tie rodiny a tak ďalej a treba to robiť takým duchovným spôsobom, že sa diskutujú tie námety, ako my sme napríklad, keď prišli rodičia, tak sme s nimi čítali z Biblii a hovorili sme trocha ako o tých duchovných námetoch.
So.
Ja som skôr myslel, že či organizovať ten západný štýl Vianoc, že stromčeky, darčeky, nákupy a tento štýl.
Yeah, he was more thinking about like making trees and give presents and like this.
Uh-huh. Yes, I don't know. We don't give. We do give presents also.
Symbolic.
Symbolic. something.
Something.
That they're not, they not feel that they're, kako se reče, prikrajšan. Ochudobněný?
They miss something.
They miss something, yes.
My sme dávali akože darčeky, že aby nemali ten, že sú niečo ukratení.
Yes. So I can see that we are too long. We have this. You came for kirtan?
Yeah.
Waiting for kirtan? Let's start. Shila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanandi.